Hello, Mrs. Metz. Starting my journey in C104 was definitely something wasn't afraid of, but I definitely looked forward to. I am always been a fan of public speaking. I like conveying my ideas, being confident out there, telling stories. And what C104 did was make it a fun learning environment, even though it was at 8 a.m. Going into the class, I heard it was very difficult. I heard it was scary because it was like a Kelly prerequisite. But once I got in and got into the flow of things, I really started to enjoy it. It actually became my favorite class by the end. But in the beginning, I expected myself to be confident, tell my stories, which was great with the early impromptu speeches, which made a very good foundation for me to get going in that class. Adding to that, we got into our groups for Hasbro and Macy's. I loved my group, actually. The guys that I met in there were just great work. We all worked well together. And also the fact that we were all guys. You said it'd be funny to make an all-guys group, and I think we turned out all right. We did very well in our creation of the Macy's idea, especially. How we created the idea of the new technologies to come in, and how we created the map and the raffle and any other idea, and we all worked it together. Like each one of us had a certain part into it. So I think what made the class great was learning with teamwork, learning with other people, and you also got competitive in the class. In impromptu speeches or some sort of small speeches in the class, I'd always want to go against Maggie, or go against Chandler, or go against Alex and Andrew. There was always a competitiveness in such a small class. So not only did I gain the confidence, but I also gained that competitiveness, that drive, that hunger to do better than others. Toward the end of the class, when we started the final presentations, to be honest, I thought that was my worst speech of the year. It wasn't a terrible speech, but it wasn't as good as my other speeches, and I felt as though I had rushed it and got flustered, and that was just a poor speech for me to end on. Thankfully, then, we have this extra credit. Doing the final presentation speech kind of took a step back for me. That I can't always be so confident, that I always have to just stop, go back and look at myself in the mirror and practice, go over my key points a couple days before class, brainstorm a lot earlier, like we did Macy's, stuff like that. And I always need to stick to my goals of not mumbling, keeping eye contact, not swaying, and getting hopefully an A in the class. Now hopefully my work has done that. And by the end of C104, I found myself to be a lot more confident. I found myself to be able to have arguments with people, to persuade people over to my edge, to talk to people more openly, and get into more kind of like the presentational feeling, where I could go through points in my head about why the Cardinals are better than the Cubs, or points in my head of why fantasy football isn't overrated. I sort of gained that intellect that I never thought I had before until after C104. Overall, it definitely was my favorite class this semester. It was just such a fun class to be in, even at 8 a.m., always talking, always vibrant, and you did a wonderful job of making us feel comfortable and making me feel comfortable by being so open and fun with us in class. I hope that through C104 I've gained my knowledge and the confidence to talk to future recruiters and CEOs, to build up my network, and one day be ready for my sports marketing job for the St. Louis Rams. Hopefully and surely, I can depend on C104 to bring that to me. Thanks.